Congressman LaHood, Republican from Illinois, joins me now. Sir, Hamas has supporters in Congress. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, they've consistently used the word genocide to describe the Israeli government. Do you think they should be in Congress? I think that kind of inflammatory language leads to this kind of thing. Should they be in Congress?
Well, I think you make a very good point, Stuart. And what happened in Colorado is horrific, unacceptable, and absolutely ridiculous. And the full extent of the law needs to be put forth against this individual, this terrorist. To your point, nobody can defend what happened here, but it's that type of language that's incendiary, particularly for members of Congress on the House floor or in committee rooms. This just highlights why we have to continue to take action in the strongest possible terms. This should be a bipartisan issue. Nothing like this should happen in America.
Tim Walz called ICE the Gestapo. I find that extraordinary, a ridiculous misunderstanding of what the Gestapo was and the current situation in Gaza and Israel. I mean, you've got to stop using words like that. You just got to do that.
Yeah, when you have elected officials like Tim Walz and others that engage in this type of activity and behavior, it incentivizes and perpetuates the anti-Semitism that we're seeing across the country. This ought to be a wake-up call for all of America and for those elected officials that continue to engage in this type of rhetoric.
Well said, sir. Change the subject for a second. Turning to Trump's big, beautiful bill, listen to what Republican Senator Rand Paul said about the spending increase. Roll tape.
The math doesn't really add up. One of the things this big and beautiful bill is it's a vehicle for increasing spending for the military and for the border. It's about $320 billion in new spending. To put that in perspective, that's more than all the DOGE cuts that we found so far. I think there are 4 of us at this point, and I would be very surprised if the bill at least is not modified in a good direction. I want the tax cuts to be permanent, but at the same time, I don't want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. The GOP will own the debt once they vote for this.
Okay, 2 points here. More spending cuts. You want to see more spending cuts?
Correct.
When it comes out of the Senate?
Yes.
And what do you do about the debt that keeps on rising?
Well, one thing that Senator Paul did not talk about is we cut $1.6 trillion over 10 years in the bill that passed in the House. That's not talked about. That's real spending cuts. We've never done anything like that in the history of Congress. Secondarily, he's relying on CBO scores. I don't believe the CBO scores that has growth at 1.8%. In our bill, we have it at 2.8%. President Trump thinks it'll go over 3%. So I think that needs to be laid out, was not addressed by Senator Paul also.
Are you absolutely confident that the big, bad, beautiful, whatever bill it is, it begins with a B, that will be passed by July the 4th?
Well, let's remember.
Very tight time frame.
Well, Stuart, no one thought the House would do it by Memorial Day. We did that under the leadership of Jason Smith and Speaker Johnson. We got it done 4 days in advance. So we ought to keep moving forward. If we do nothing this year, remember, Stuart, we'll have $4.5 trillion of tax increases. This bill is a good bill, as President Trump has alluded to. Could we use a few more cuts? Sure. But remember, we're bringing a rescission bill before the House in the next couple weeks here that'll cut $9.6 billion. That's a start. We need to continue to find ways to cut.
Those rescissions will pull back, claw back money that's already been allocated, which you don't want to spend. That's a rescission, right?
That's correct. Absolutely.
And more than the $9 billion program, you're going to get rescission for more than that later.
Absolutely. And this comes directly from DOGE and the proposed cuts that were put forth by Elon and his team.
Congressman LaHood, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Stuart.
Appreciate it.